Louisiana has a long way to go in its battle against cancer. We have the 5th highest cancer mortality rate in the nation, and we're among 3 southern states with the highest cancer cases per capita. So Tuesday was a big day for the Louisiana Cancer Research Center in New Orleans.
We are not at a wake or a funeral. We are here to celebrate the advances that we are going to make to better serve the people of our great state.
Governor John Bel Edwards introduced the LCRC's new director and CEO, Dr. Joe Ramos, a visionary with a big job ahead. The mission is to lead the center's public-private partnership of LSU Health New Orleans, Tulane University School of Medicine, Xavier University of Louisiana, and Ochsner Health toward its longtime goal of earning a cancer center designation from the National Cancer Institute. When such a designation is earned, you know that cancer care in the state is vastly improved. In the short 20 years since its inception, the LCRC, like Metro New Orleans, had to recover in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina as lives were changed forever.
The LCRC lost some of its most prominent cancer researchers and was forced to rebuild, basically from scratch. And look at where we are today.
Dr. Ramos comes to Louisiana from the University of Hawaii Cancer Center, which has had a continuous 25-year NCI designation.
So for me, I've been driven all my life to try and do my best to have as broad an impact as I can on cancer. And my research initially, and then in my role as the director of the Cancer Center in Hawaii and deputy director there for the last many years. And so the need here is tremendous. I mean, we're in the very bottom as far as cancer incidence. We're hard hit in Louisiana, and that's really an important thing to get a handle on. And the way to do that is by putting in place all of those elements that you need to do to attack the problem of cancer. So that's great research, but also great clinical trials, getting that research to the people, to the patients. Great prevention, try our best to prevent cancers from occurring, and then educating that next generation. So those are all the elements that are a part of what you do as a cancer center. And if we do those things right here, I can see us having a real effect on that cancer incidence and those disparities.
The coveted Cancer Center designation only happens when a series of benchmarks continue to be reached.
Incredible vision here of the board and the previous folks who put together this idea of how the LCRC can be structured. There's nothing that quite looks like this in the rest of the country. And I really think this is the way to do cancer research, cancer care here in Louisiana, to make sure that you're reaching every area of the state.
I don't care if you live in the Delta, right outside of St. Joe, or whether you're up in Bastrop or Rapides Parish or wherever. We need to make sure that everybody benefits from what we're doing, and quite frankly, that's what we're going to do, and that's how we're going to be successful.
There is not a current NCI designation research center in Louisiana, Mississippi, or Arkansas, so the expectation is that our state will become a regional cancer care destination for the Central Gulf South.
We will provide a mechanism to amplify the power of that work, to impact the burden of cancer faster, more broadly, and in more detail here. When we do that right, that combination and that amplification of all that research, the whole is going to be greater than the sum of the parts. And I'm given to analogies. I love music. And so I kind of think of this in one respect as the jazz effect. Like a great jazz band, each player adds their own special take on the theme. They bring their own flavor to it, but together you get something quite different and much more powerful than any that them would have alone.
And one of the first things on the agenda for Dr. Ramos is to take off across the state and visit every corner to better understand addressing the needs.